comic geeks, and all the nerds in between. My name is Megan, and I am here with another character breakdown today. And I will be honest with you, it is not an underrated character by any means. He's just one of my favorites, and I feel like I don't get to talk about him enough. So here we are to discuss Remy LeBeau, aka Gambit. Before I get started, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss anything else I put out, because I put out so many things that I think you'll really dig. Gambit's first appearance was in X-Men Annual number 14 in 1990, but his first full appearance was in Uncanny X-Men number 266 in June of 1990. He was created by Chris Claremont, Mike Collins, and Jim Lee. Remy LeBeau, the mutant who'd grow up to be Gambit, had a very rough start. He was abandoned at birth because of his glowing red eyes, and then straight up kidnapped from the hospital by members of the New Orleans Thieves Guild. They called him Le Diable Blanc, the White Devil, because they believed he was the prophesied child who would one day unite the city's rival guilds. Instead of raising him themselves, they handed him off to a gang of street thieves who taught him how to survive and steal. When he was about 10, Remy tried to pickpocket Jean-Luc LeBeau, who just happened to be the patriarch of the Thieves Guild. Rather than punish him, Jean-Luc took him in and adopted him. As a kid, Remy also met Belladonna Boudreaux, a daughter of the head of the Assassins Guild, the Thieves Guild's longtime enemy. The two grew close, and Remy fell for her so hard. As a teenager, he took on dangerous jobs to prove himself. One mission sent him to a Weapon X facility in Canada to steal Nathaniel Essex's diary. He escaped during the chaos of Weapon X breakout, but what he saw in the facility horrified him so much that he burned the diary instead of handing it over. Essex accepted his excuse, but hinted they'd have a future together. At 17, Remy went to Paris to steal the Cheating Star pendant as a part of a trial to enter the Thieves Guild elite ranks. Things got complicated when he met Genevieve Darceneau, who was also trying to steal the pendant. After saving her from Sabretooth, Remy romanced her, only to eventually steal the pendant himself. Sabretooth then kidnapped both Genevieve and Remy's foster brother Henry. Forced to choose, Remy saved Henry. Genevieve fell to her death. So, as bros before hoes, or whatever you could say. To secure peace between thieves and assassins guilds, Remy was arranged to marry Belladonna. But her brother Julian challenged him to a duel. Remy took him out in self-defense and was banished from New Orleans to preserve the fragile truce. Believing Belladonna wouldn't be happy in exile, he left her behind. From there, Remy wandered the world as a master thief, using his mutant ability to charge objects with explosive kinetic energy, usually playing cards. It's his thing. When his powers started spiraling out of control, he turned to Mr. Sinister for help. Sinister surgically reduced his power, putting Remy in his debt. That debt led to one of the darkest chapters of his life. Sinister had him assemble the Marauders and led them into the Morlock tunnels without telling him it was supposed to be a massacre. When Remy realized the truth, he tried to stop it, but Sabretooth nearly took him out. The only person he managed to save was a young Morlock girl who would later become the X-Man Marrow. Eventually, Remy crossed paths with Storm of the X-Men, who at the time had been turned into an amnesiac child. He helped her escape the Shadow King, and when she was restored, she sponsored him to join the X-Men. He soon fell in love with Rogue. We all know about, what do they call it? Romy. They call these two Romy. That's their ship name, I guess. The problem, her powers made skin-to-skin contact dangerous, so they could never touch. The feelings were mutual, but the curse was very real. Over the years, Remy's past kept catching up with him, especially his role in the Mutant Massacre. Magneto once put him on trial, and then, when the truth came out, Rogue left him stranded in Antarctica. He barely survived, struck strange deals to get home, and eventually found his way back to the X-Men. Things only got stranger, as they tend to do. He discovered an alternate reality version of himself called the New Sun, whose out-of-control powers had destroyed his own world. The New Sun hunted other versions of Remy to prevent that fate. In their final battle, Remy burned out his enhanced powers to defeat him, returning himself to normal levels. He was framed for murder, lost his powers, regained them, went blind during a mission in China, which is also not the only time he goes blind. Had his sight restored, became a teacher, struggled through countless breakups and reconciliations with Rogue, and even briefly became Apocalypse's Horseman of Death, which I think that's what's going to happen in X-Men 97, Season 2. And I know I'm not alone in that, so anyone else that thinks that's happening, you're my people. Though he tried to resist the mental tampering, he became enslaved, while still clinging to pieces of himself, insisting that he was both Death and Gambit. He was eventually restored, but Death persona never fully disappeared. Remy drifted between hero and thief more than once, pulling off heists, getting tangled with crime lords, mystical artifacts, interdimensional monsters, and former lovers. He was framed again, blackmailed, shot, nearly killed like multiple times, and even secretly became a global guild master for the Thieves Guild. He rejoined different X teams, joined X Factor, and repeatedly tried to build things with Rogue. They even went undercover for couples therapy, forced to relive each other's perspectives. After a failed wedding between Kitty Pryde and Colossus, Remy proposed to Rogue on the spot, and this time it stuck. They got married. Their honeymoon in space was interrupted by the Shi'ar crisis involving Exandra and the bioengineered daughter of Professor Xavier and Empress Lilandra. Rogue refused a quick fix for her powers, determined to control them herself. Later, the couple got dragged into the Mojoverse and trapped into a genre-hopping fake realities where Rogue kept taking out Gambit as part of Mojo's twisted programming. And with hope from Spiral, they broke free. By the end of it all, after time and space, alternate realities, possession, betrayals, near apocalypses, Remy and Rogue finally returned home, married, still complicated, but together. And before diving back into the superhero chaos, Remy made sure they took a few uninterrupted hours for themselves. But no matter how wild life gets, Gambit has always been two things at heart, a thief and a romantic. And we all thrive with that. Most recently, Gambit and Rogue are at Haven House in Louisiana in Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone, which you absolutely should check out. It's fantastic. And he is... I don't want to spoil it if you haven't read it, but things of his past do come back to haunt him. Him and Rogue are stronger than ever, and it's just been fantastic to have them back. So, yeah. That is my breakdown of who Remy LeBeau, aka Gambit, is. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll like and subscribe. With that being said, have a marvelous day.